Hi, good morning here, Tokyo. It's so excited to be here. It's my first time being to Japan and also my first time in Tokyo, and we have a very small conference here. So it actually reminded me my first time attending KubeCon. By the way, I was also at KubeCon 2 days ago. So my first KubeCon was in 2016 in North America, in Seattle. It was rainy, and it was the very first KubeCon when Kubernetes was donated to the CNCF as the seeding technology. So as many of the attendees there, I went there trying to figure out what Kubernetes is, and I was trying to figure out how do I be relevant, be part of the great Kubernetes and cloud native community. So today, fast forward today, 10 years, almost 10 years later, I believe AI and AI agents is the changing engine for cloud native and also for the open source community. Just like 10 years ago, Kubernetes was the changing agent for cloud native. So let me explain what I mean by that. In the cloud-native world, we are really changing how we rethink compute, how we rethink network and storage for AI and AI agents. We are starting to challenge in some of the fundamental concepts we have in Kubernetes. How many of you are familiar with Kubernetes and knows Kubernetes has like pods and services? Yes? Okay, many of you, right? So for those of you who are not familiar with Kubernetes, pods are the smallest deployment unit inside of Kubernetes, and typically you, as a developer, you deploy your application as pods, and you run it as services, which is a higher abstraction on top of pods in Kubernetes. So because of AI, we started challenging ourselves, is pods or services the right unit for generative AI or agentic AI workloads? For instance, right now, I'm running my AI agent, which I'm going to show you shortly, not as pod, it's actually as a YAML inside of an AutoGen framework, which is an agentic AI framework. Isn't that fascinating that I'm not actually running a pod and I don't have my own container for my AI agent? We are also challenging the concept of services in Kubernetes with the most recent work in Kubernetes ecosystem. We started innovating the inference gateway, which can control traffic coming into large language model. And we started to develop concepts such as inference pool, endpoint picker, because we find out the service concept in Kubernetes are not sufficient to solve our needs for the inference gateway. Now, with OpenSSF community, I have to confess I'm a very new user of OpenSSF, and Justin knows me. My interaction with OpenSSF is I took the Intuitive project to become a CNCF graduated project, and also I'm an Istio maintainer, which is a CNCF graduated project, and I know briefly that we worked on SBOM for Istio. So as a user, I know a little bit about OpenSSF, and I do believe AI is going to hugely impact how we think about security, how we think about the data feeding into the large language model, how we're going to protect the delivery mechanism for AI agent, and how we're going to protect the injection prompt, the system prompt that user going to specify as part of their AI workload. I do believe from across cloud-native ecosystem and also OpenSSF and also the great open source community, the biggest challenge in today in addition to we're trying to re-innovate everything for AI, the biggest challenge today is actually the complexity in our ecosystem. As I explained, I'm a user of OpenSSF. To me, the ecosystem is not as big as CNCF, which we have over 300 projects. But the reality to me is the OpenSSF community has a lot of projects for me to learn. As a new user, I find out that it's really, really hard for me to navigate a couple of dozens projects we have in the ecosystem without using a conversation style to help me navigate, just like I was able to use GPS to navigate Japan without asking anybody to help because it understands the language I can speak. So I believe the biggest challenge in addition is to bring this conversation style of conversation to our user so we can grow up the next cloud native, 10x cloud native user. We can successfully grow up the next 2x, 10x open source user and OpenSSF user. So I'm going to show you through a demo I built conversation style to solve and help user learn Kubernetes, and hopefully that could be a little bit inspiration. The conversation style of agent can help us tackle the OpenSSF challenge for the OpenSSF user. Sorry, that's not the emoji I want to show. Let me get out of my screen. So bear with me here. This table is a little bit low, so hopefully, can you guys hear me actually? All right, yes? All right, so I'm going to get out of the slides. I'm not a slides person, so as you can see, I didn't really build slides for you all. So I have a project I built specifically for you, which is, let me make this a little bit bigger. So this is a generative AI application I built, and it basically does a very simple thing, which I'm going to show you shortly. It allows to interact with large language model, which I have it running on my machine using Llama. Llama provides a Docker-like experience for large language model, so you can load the large language model very easily. So I have a Llama running right here on my machine, which is this tiny icon here. And I'm using a CNCF graduate project called Argo to push my repository into my Kubernetes cluster. So as you can see, I developed an application called OpenSSF Day, and I use this as my GitHub repository, and that pushes everything regarding my demo application to this particular cluster, which I'm running locally using Kind. So this is a Kubernetes cluster. I know some of you are not very familiar with Kubernetes. So you can see Kubernetes provides isolation through a concept called namespace. And I have a bunch of pods running in the cluster. As I was mentioned, pods are the smallest deployment unit inside of Kubernetes. So just scroll up a little bit. So this is my Argo CD. I showed you the UI. And in the default namespace, I have a simple demo application running, very, very simple. I also have ingress gateway running that allows the client, which is outside of the Kubernetes cluster, to access the demo application. And I have Istio service mesh running, which I'm not really using other than I use it to serve as my ingress gateway. With that, so you can see my Argo application is healthy and everything is synced. So what does that mean? That means everything from my repository is synced to my Kubernetes cluster. So everything is deployed nicely. And I just, when I click on here, you can see these are the components of my Argo application. So I have the demo application, and I have the ingress gateway configuration, and I have a route configuration application that configs the routes when it's accessed from the ingress gateway to the demo application. All right, so enough of the application. One thing I want to show you is I set up access from the ingress gateway through a local port, because everything is running on my local Kubernetes cluster. So I believe the port I set up is 888 to keep it simple. So right now there is unfortunately a problem with my demo application. As you can see, I'm getting a 500 internal error. So I'm going to rely on an AI agent I built to help me troubleshooting the problem. So in my, I'm running an agent framework, which is a new sandbox project called K-Agent inside of CNCF. And in the agent framework, I've loaded up a GitHub MCP server. How many of you knows what MCP is? It's a model context protocol. It's one of the hottest thing in the AI agents. So effectively, MCP, GitHub published an official MCP server, which allows me to consume all the tools provided by the MCP server so that my agent can potentially use it. So you can see it allows me to create an issue, to create a pull request, create a branch. So very, very helpful. So what's nice about the MCP ecosystem is I don't have to figure out how to use GitHub. I can just grab the tools. GitHub made it available through MCP to me. In addition to the MCP server, I also develop a reliability engineer agent. So inside of this agent, I give system prompts. I ask the agent try to figure out problems for me, but don't make any code change for me, because everything, I don't trust AI to the extent, so I don't want AI make any automatic change for me. So I explicitly ask, hey, please, by the way, you can see the AI agent here. So I give the agent a description, and I give agent instruction, which are the system prompts. So I ask the agent to help me troubleshooting issues. I ask the agents how you're going to operate. I ask the agent what problem solving framework you can use. And I ask the agent, these are the tools you can use, but please don't make any changes for me. Send the changes for me to review. All right, so now that you know, and by the way, I'm using the OpenAI model, and these are all the tools my agent's using. So I'm not going to update the agents here because I already have it. And because the Wi-Fi is not great at conferences, so yesterday I actually ran a debugging session yesterday afternoon to debug my broken cluster. So I'm going to share the conversation I have with the agent with you all here. So by the way, as the agent, you can see these are all the tools used by the agent. So let's start with what I asked the agent to do. So I said, through conversation style, the demo service in the default namespace is not reachable from Istio ingress gateway. Can you help me debug this problem? And the agent is going to figure out what tools to call and make the right arguments against the tool. So for instance, you can see this is calling regarding get resource, right? To figure out what are the resources, what are the services available in the default namespace. Can I first locate the demo services? And this one, you can see the agent is trying to figure out, what are the paths available in the default namespace. So through a bunch of tools and calling a lot of generative AI magic, the agent come down to give me a response. So let me show you what the response is. All right, so let me change this a little bit. Sorry, I didn't want to scroll up too fast. So the agent actually gave me a bunch of response, and and also ask me what to do. So I said, go ahead, please create the PR for the main branch using my helper agent. And what the agent is going to do is say, I actually find out the backend service port in the route configuration is committed. It's trying to create a pull request, and it's trying to create a pull request with this. So it finds out that the port number was not correct. It actually created a pull request for me, and the agent actually summarized the root cause was a port mismatch in the route configuration. The demo service exposed port 80. By the way, can you guys see in the back? Okay, perfect, thank you. The demo service exposes port 80, but the HTTP route backend reference port 8080, which caused the gateway to not do the route correctly. If you fix the port issue, it can fix the issue. So let's go to the pull request the agent generated for me. So as you can see, this is yesterday, 70 hours ago. I was working through afternoon through my agent. So the agent did create the pull request automatically for me and also put a nice description. So essentially, the agent does this magic by calling, figure out what tools to call, and try to do a little bit of debugging itself, and also ask me for hints as needed, and then went ahead, generate the pull request for me in the correct repository, because you can find out the repository from the Argo application I deploy. And let's check out the change. So essentially, in the HTTP routes, by the way, which is a Kubernetes Gateway API resource, it notices the demo service is running on port 80 instead of port 8080, which the agent believes is the fix. So what I'm going to do, I think this looks right to me. So I'm going to go ahead and approve this change. And I'm going to go ahead and merge this. So let's try to test if this actually works, so I can show you the demo application I built. So I'm going to go back to the Argo application, and I'm going to click on the sync button. By the way, normally as people running Argo in production environment, they would have automatically sync. Because I'm doing a demo, I thought it would be nice to trigger the sync on demand. So all right, looks like everything is synced. So I think I did. Did I click on the sync button? I think I did. OK, I'm going to click on one more time just in case I didn't. OK, so let's go back to finger cross. The agent can fix the problem. Oh my God, it did. All right, so that is my generative AI application. And I just want to show you one thing. Some of you attended my KubeCon session. You probably already know I'm going to take a screen of bring you all on stage. By the way, I'm hoping I got my phone working this time. Last time I couldn't get the phone working. So, all right, I did. All right, it went by so fast. Let me try it one more time. All right, I did. Can I show you all on the screen? All right, so what we're going to do is I have this Lava model loaded on my large language, on my Olama, and I'm going to analyze the mood in the audience. Are you guys ready for me to take a picture? Yes? All right. All right, I'm going to press on taking the picture button. So what it's going to do is it took a picture of you, and it's going to send the picture to the large language model, which is this Lava model, and to analyze the image. And I ask, can you help me analyze the mood of the audience, and also can you detect if there is anything unusual in the image? So nothing unusual. A typical moment in appear to be a formal conference, taking an auditory style, seated in chairs facing, well, there's a speaker and the presenter. The mood is professional, properly academic or corporate event. All right. I guess that's about right. Oh, it actually recognized Japan and 2016. That's crazy. All right. Well, that's pretty unusual, I guess. All right, so that concludes. All right, so that concludes the demo I was trying to show you. What I like about this whole thing is through conversation style, we can bring the knowledge of Kubernetes to you to allow the next generation of the open source user, OpenSSF user, or cloud native user to stand on the shoulder of our knowledge, right? So we can pass our knowledge through agentic AI, through AI agents, to let them to explore the world of open source, the OpenSSF, cloud native, in a much simple way, using conversations. I believe conversation is the new operating system for our next generation of kids. So thank you all for having me.